What's up, you guys? All right, well, finishing the morning here with $22,000 in profit. Not bad. A step back in the right direction after kind of a choppy couple days on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday was great, almost $100,000 in profit. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not as great. A little choppy, a couple red days. And now back with 22,200 or so here on Friday. So that's good. And for Furry Friday and Thankful Thursday, I'm doing a donation of $22,000, the amount that I made today, to some nonprofits in this community here in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, including the Berkshire Humane Society, Volunteers in Medicine, People's Pantry, and a couple others. So trying to pay it forward a little bit and take some of that profit off of Wall Street and send it back to the local community, and hopefully you guys are able to do some of the same. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already. We're trying to get towards 750,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so help us get there, and I will see you guys live streaming first thing on Monday morning, and I might jump on over the weekend to say hello to everyone and see what's going on. So if you do see me pop on live streaming, feel free to tune in and say hello. All right, so I hope you guys have had a great week, have a great weekend. Enjoy the recap. Questions, comments, leave them below, and I'll see you first thing on Monday morning. All right, everyone, so we're going to break down the trades from today. $22,245 of profit, which is fantastic. A nice bounce back after 2 red days in a row. I'm green on 4 out of 4 stocks that I've traded. So in really good shape here today, with Craig being the leading gapper, which was a surprise. It did end up gapping, or the leading winner for me. It was gapping up 55%. And my first trade on it was pre-market at $395 for the break of 4, as all of a sudden it came out with news at 9 and ripped from $350 to 4. So I got in a little high, but I got in for the break of the whole dollar. In at $395, taking a little profit in the teens, and then it came back down, held support at 4, and I added back, and then that opened up for a move up to $425, $430, pulled back again, added for the break of $450, and that gave us a squeeze up to $530. It never retested the pre-market high, and so I'm up 16,000, which is a good day on that stock, but it's not a huge day relative to how my green days have been when I have a really good day. MTP was our one of our leading gappers here, gapping up 43% with a 6 million share float, 84 million shares of volume right now. And this one actually put in some really nice big green candles. Right here, I got this one, and right here, we got this one too. So, we had a couple nice big green candles on it. A couple big red candles too, as you can see here. And I think the indicator here, so I was actually buying the dip at 407, and then I stopped at 4. So I stopped at the psychological support of the whole dollar. So when I saw it coming back down to 402, 401, there was a buyer at 4 of like 15,000 shares. And it went 15, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I know what happens when it goes to 0. That level of support cracks, and you get a flush. So that was MTP, and I'm doing kind of a quick recap. I'm going to do some Q&A for pro students. As a reminder, I said today for Thankful Thursday and Furry Friday, whatever I made, I would donate. And even if I lost money, whatever that number is, I would give that, again, as a donation to nonprofit organizations today. So $22,245 in profit, and that is going to be paying it forward. So some of that will go to the Berkshire Humane Society. Some of it will go to the People's Pantry that helps. It's like it's a food pantry. Some of it will go to Volunteers in Medicine here in Great Barrington, and there's a couple other organizations that I'll contribute to as well. So I'm wanting, kind of to end the week on a nice note with a green day, and I thought perhaps if I was trading, for those nonprofits today, that might motivate me to be a little more aggressive about not giving back profit, because it's not for me, it's for someone else. If I trade someone else's money, it's obviously my money, but if I'm trading for someone else, it kind of makes me just like I feel like I have to be more careful. If it's for me, like, and I lose, well, whatever, that's on me. But when I was doing it for this kind of purpose, it changed the mentality a little bit. So anyways, so $22,245 going out to some of those organizations. And as I mentioned during my recap, some of these organizations are operating on an annual budget of anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. So when I'm able to contribute $5,000, $10,000 a month to 4 or 5 different organizations through 2 or 3 times monthly $25,000 donations, I'm actually able to be a contributor of anywhere from 5, 10, 15, 20% of their annual budget. And that's a pretty big deal, to be able to take money off Wall Street and give it back to local organizations. I mean, there's obviously a lot that can be said about taxing Wall Street and this and that. And, Wall Street short-term capital gains are taxed at our income rate. Obviously, contributions to charitable organizations are tax deductible, which is, it's nice. It allows you to double benefit from doing something good. But it doesn't have to be that the only way to give money to organizations that need help are through, taxation and grants and things like that. It can be that you say, I want to put my money where my mouth is and help make this a better community, and so I'm going to put my money right back into the community. Now, of course, I could donate to really large organizations like United Way and Red Cross and stuff like that, and those are good to do, but I like, as much as I can, to put the money right into the accounts of local businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, the local hospital, and some of the nonprofits that are helping people in this community. So with like Volunteers in Medicine, if they can help people in this community stay healthy and avoid having, all of a sudden not taking care of themselves and then a catastrophic emergency situation, I mean, that's going to then help the hospital. It's going to help the whole, it all helps the whole community. So anyways, 16,000 on Craig. And if we go back to Craig, because I kind of did a quick breakdown, we did have an attempt at a curl back up through the volume weighted average price, but it didn't hold. I did take this trade right here for the red to green move, but I bought it kind of high. It still worked, but I didn't get in down here on the dip. I was actually a bit more cautious today about doing dip trades in general, just because I sort of felt like maybe, this isn't the market to be super aggressive on dip trades. It sort of felt like the last 3 days, the market was pretty, Momo was slow. We didn't have a lot of momentum in the market. And so today I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a trading for some local organizations. I'm going to try to take it easy. I'm going to bring my share size down to 10,000 shares, max size, until I hit my daily goal. I hit my daily goal pre-market on Craig, got over $10,000, which is my daily goal. And so from there, I increased my max share size from 10,000 shares to 20,000. And that got me from up about 10, 11,000 to up 16,000 on Craig pre-market. And then I switched gears when the bell rang to MTP. Right out of the gates on MTP, this ripped up in my first trade. Does anyone know? Well, what would be the setup right through here? I'll give you a hint. I'm pointing to a whole dollar. So I got in for the break of the whole dollar. I got in at about $2.95 to anticipate the break through the whole dollar. And I bought 15,000 shares. I sold it at $3.05 for about $1,500 of profit. It hit a high of 06 or 07, then up to 9, up to 10, up to 20. I didn't trade in this area because I felt like I was like, where's the entry? Then it rips up to 50 and up to 67 without me. It pulls back, it comes back up, and I initially was like, I can't trade this because this red doji on topping tail candle, it's too high. But when it came back up, I bought right here at the high, and the only setup there was that this is going to squeeze out early short sellers, because if you're short into that setup, you're going to want to cover. And so I took the trade there for a short squeeze. It popped up, and then I bought the first 1 minute candle to make a new high right there with 10,000 shares, and we got the squeeze up to 4. I took my profit at 90. Well, so I added on this at 95 for the break of 4. So I went for the whole dollar breakout, and when we came up to 99, there was like a 20,000 share seller. 98, there was a 15,000 share seller. Another one at 99. Another one at $4, and I was like, you know what? I'm back out. So from my ad at 95, I was selling at like 98, 96, 94, 93, 92, and 88. So I ended up actually losing a little bit on that last trade, but not a lot. Hey Zeus, your question, what's a micro pullback? So that's going to be in chapter 6 of the Warrior Pro classes. So during our Q&A, I'm happy to answer questions specific to Ross. I was watching chapter 6 and I was checking out the 1 minute pullback and how do you use the, level 2 on that setup. So a clarification question on the classes, happy to answer that. A clarification question on a trade that I took, I'm happy to answer that. But a question that's definitely covered in the classes, I want you to go and watch that chapter 6 and go through that because we have a specific part where we talk about the micro pullback. So, but essentially a micro pullback is a bull flag that occurs either on a 1 minute chart or a 10-second chart. And that's micro because it's such a short time frame. So some nice trades here, but then a false break at 4, and then all of a sudden, whoom, right back up. So the entry here was at the pivot. This was the pivot right there at 75. I missed it. Dan called out a trade on that one. Great job for him. John, Jess, I think they took it as well. I got in a little high as it pulled back and based off 4, and it popped from there back up to 433. So that added some profit. It came back down to 4, and I tried to add again, and then as it looked like it was breaking down, I cut it loose for a small loss. So I was up a little over 5,000 on it, and I'm up 4,889 right now. So a little bit of a pullback, but nothing serious. All right, so that was MTP, nothing else there. EBON was on the gap scanner as well, down here up 17%, but with a higher float. Out of the gates, it squeezed up and got halted. I didn't take any trades on it. But when it came back up right here, I did get in right there. Again, short squeeze setup. And as you can see, it hit a high of 7, but it didn't really hold up that well. So that was only so-so. Not the best trade. FAMI, F-A-M-I, this one hit the high day Momo scanner. I jumped in at 15. And as you can see, it's moved up. But I got in right here. It hit a high of 19. And then it popped up to, I guess, 23, but it didn't hold that level. So I got back out. Cheaper stock, I bought 15,000 shares on the first trade. And so I only made like a penny and a half. Each penny with 15,000 shares is $150. So 2 cents would be $300. I didn't even make 2 cents a share. So, not again a home run, but not bad. So I want to import my trades here for 1 second from yesterday. So this was, that is Tuesday. That's Wednesday. I lost 10,000 on Wednesday, as you well know. Disappointing day. So now let me import my trades from yesterday. All right, so I'm going to just move these over here. So I have to go and pull these right off of my Lightspeed account. Let's see, browse. All right, there we go. Okay, and upload. All right, so that's going to be uploading for a second. So you can see here, it takes a second to refresh. So refresh and refresh. There we go. All right, so 2 red days back to back, disappointing. So let's look at how just those 2 days look in context. So August 1st through yesterday, net gross profit 340, 350, 73% accuracy. All right, fine. Well, let's just look at the 2 red days. Or actually, let's look at Tuesday through yesterday. So over those 3 days, what changed? My accuracy was pretty solid, 73%, right? But this is very interesting. My winners were only 1,000 and my losers 3,000. So what ended up happening was I had a couple big losses. MNPR, $27,000. That was a huge loss. I mean, that one is going to go down in the record book. Let's see, my biggest loss of all time. There it is. That was on Tuesday. Sorry, that was on Wednesday. So I just had my biggest loss of all time. And this goes back, this is $4.6 million in profit. All things considered, a $26,000 loss isn't too bad, but that's not what I love to see. So you can see that the last couple days here, I just ended up getting caught in some bigger losers. Price and volume. Let's see, what is this? Let's just filter that. Bigger losers on higher price stocks. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to draw maybe a super significant conclusion about the data there, but I think just this at the surface, the losers were too big, so I was holding the losers too long. And now today is going to be, back in the right direction of keeping losses small. I had a couple losses today, but I kept them small and manageable, and I'm green across the board. So up 22,000, and that, just about makes up for these last couple days. I mean, not totally, but I'm moving back in the right direction, and hopefully going into Monday a little bit recharged. If I go back to just like maybe May 5th here, and I look at my detailed and then win-loss expectation, so that right there is my little drawdown right there. And I had a couple other red days back here, but so a little drawdown, but nothing, 23,000, that was it. All right, so puts it in perspective a little bit. Okay, so that's where I finished today, $22,245. I could keep trading, but I'm going to leave it for now. And let's take a look at my swing trades. All right, so my swing trades here, I have, let's start with Amazon. So on Monday, starting at around 11 a.m. when I finish my finish live trading on Monday, I'm going to start my swing trading class for you guys. So yesterday I took a swing trade on Amazon where I sold, in other words, I shorted the calls at $3,300. So $3,300 is right up here. So I sold the 3,300 calls for $1.26, and I sold 10 contracts. So that brought in $1,260 in profit. However, if I just short them and then all of a sudden the stock rips up to 33 or 3,400, I could lose I could lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could be catastrophic. Very dangerous. And so what I did was I bought the 3310 calls for $1.10. And what that did is it created a spread and a little bit of a hedge. So my max loss, instead of being infinite, was 310. So if it went to 350 or 3350, whatever, I would be able to execute on my 310s. So reduces the loss, but also reduces the profit potential. And so my profit potential here is the difference between these two, which, as you can see, is 16 cents. So it's only 16 cents. The current value of this contract is 9 cents and 8 cents, which means I could, and I probably should, just go ahead and cover it right now and realize 90% of my profit potential. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the closing order to buy this at a penny. Now, the only thing is that that's actually going to cost me commission, right? So that part is a little bit annoying. It costs $23. I could just let it expire worthless. And if I let it expire worthless, then I don't pay that extra $23. But I carry the risk that, at some point before 4 p.m. today, Amazon comes out with really good news. I don't know. And all of a sudden rips up to $3,300. Seems unlikely, but is it worth the $20? In this case, I'm going to say no. Now, I could probably negotiate a better commission with TD Ameritrade, but in any case, I'm just going to take the money off the table on that one. All right, so putting it at a 1 cent debit, and that'll cover. So now let's go down to Etsy. This one, I was long these puts as part of a hedge, and then I didn't close it out because I knew they would expire worthless, and it wasn't even really worth the commission to close them. But we can look at this for 1 second. So if I close this here, well, I'm selling it at 0. There's probably not even a bid on it, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. So next one down is Netflix. So on Netflix earlier this week, when it was squeezing up, I said to myself, I don't think Netflix is going to come back down to 465. I think it's going to hold support at that level, so I'm going to sell the 465 puts. And I sold 5 contracts at $1.70, and they're at 20 cents right now. So I'm up almost $800 on that. Not bad. And the goal here would be to let this go down to 0. The only risk is that, well, what if the market really does roll over? You know, it would have to really tank to come back down to 465. So on this one, you know, I don't know that I want to set a stop because of what happened to me yesterday setting my stop on Etsy. But what I would want to do is I would want to say, you know what, I'll just set a stop on this at, 30 cents. So if it comes up to 30, it'll stop me out, and at least I'll have profit. But I did that yesterday, and I got stopped out for a massive loss on Etsy because you know how market makers can kind of abuse stop orders, and I think that's what ended up happening. So I'm going to just leave that for now on Netflix. Now on Tesla, this one is a little trickier because I sold the 1800 calls yesterday, and my thought there was that, look, 1800 is all-time highs. This, I don't think it's going to all-time highs tomorrow. But in fact, it did gap up overnight. But that's okay, because it's still worth less, even though it's actually higher than today. Why is that? Because of the value of time decay. So time decay has decayed the value of this option contract. But the credit was very small. The difference between 18 and 33 is only 10, 15 cents. And as you can see, 15 cents, the difference between 57 and 68 is 10 cents, 7 cents. So I really don't have a lot of profit on this one yet. The value is actually holding up better than I would like. I don't think that it's going to go to 1800 by the end of the day today. That would first require a break through the 1679 pivot, which by itself would be impressive, and then all the way up to 1800. So I think that this will probably be fine. It'll probably expire worthless, and like the Amazon trade, which right now is not executing the fill, it should be able to come back down. And I could put an order on this as a profit target, create a closing order so that's an 11-cent debit, and I got in for 15 cents. So I'm only up a teeny bit right now, but I could put the order at like 3 cents or something like that. And it's possible that as we get a little bit closer to the afternoon and time decay starts to pick up a little bit more, that this will just decrease more and more in value. So I'm okay with holding these ones right now, and I'm fine with Netflix as well. I really think that these are fine. That's at 16 cents. So this is $800 in swing trading profit. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to be even really, you have to understand options, and I'll be teaching that next week. But it requires, on the one hand, the barrier to entry is a little higher because of the knowledge to be able to understand options. So I'll accept and agree with that. But on the other hand, it doesn't require the use of level 2. It doesn't require the use of hotkeys. Options trades do settle overnight, so you could trade almost all of the trades this week, except for the Netflix trade, could have been with a small account. Netflix required more buying power. But if you had a larger account, like a retirement account, selling covered calls and cash secured puts can be a great way to generate some sort of passive income from it. So I do think that there's opportunity here for beginner traders, even though options are a little more advanced. I think there's a way to trade them that can be very straightforward. And it allows you to do things you wouldn't be able to do with stock. You can't take a stock trade where you say, as long as Tesla doesn't go above 1800 by the end of the week, I'm going to make money. Because as soon as you take a trade, you're buying at the current price. But with options, you can take that type of trade. So anyways, we'll get into that more next week, and I'll wrap up the recap here, and then for pro students, we're going to continue on with the Q&A session. All right, so everyone watching the recap, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys first thing next week. I might come on at some point over the weekend and do like a Facebook, YouTube Live or something like that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you please hit that subscribe button. We're working our way towards 750,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that we get there before the end of the year. All right, so enjoy the weekend, and Warrior Pro students, let's continue on with our QA session.
And that right there was an entire video with no ads. I don't monetize my YouTube channel with video ads, which means you guys get to enjoy the content but do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up and let YouTube know that this channel is the channel to watch if you want to learn about day trading.